This is Sel with Acrebooks. I have with me Alla Hatfield. She is author of Beginner Marathonist Faith Training. Thank you, Alla, so much for joining us for this interview. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for having me. I'm really excited as an author. This is my first ever interview, so I'm really excited to share about my book and about myself and see what kind of
Cool.
questions you would have for me.
Well, we're excited to have you. Thank you for joining us. So, to kick this off, I have one question for you. What
Yeah.
is your book about? Beginner Marathonist Faith Training. Tell us a little bit about your book.
All right. Well, it's a devotional that's based on a marathon training model, and I thought that was going to be a great way to share my message with my readers, is because everybody is busy nowadays. I'm a busy mom. I don't have time to read too much, but at the same time, I want to challenge myself spiritually, physically, and I thought having something that follows after a marathon training model where you have your short runs and long runs. You
Cool.
can have the same way. You can have your short readings, long readings, and you can really focus on your goal, focus on something that you're working toward, and you read an inspirational material every day that takes you through.
Okay.
And I think it's 17 weeks is a great. I've done devotionals that were supposed to be like a year-long devotional or
Mhm.
more, 6 months, and it seemed like it was really, really long. Or sometimes you'd start and you're so excited about it, but then you kind of, get really tired from reading
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
thing, or it becomes really long and then you don't have time to do this. So I was trying to keep it short and to the point, but also at the same time put substance into it and make it really inspiring to the readers.
Okay. So the marathon in there, if I understand you correctly, it's your book is a devotional that follows a marathoner's training guide. So it's not only for runners then.
That's correct. The
Okay.
runners, the goal for the runners, obviously, they will relate really well to this book,
Hmm.
whether they've run a marathon or they haven't, and think that a marathon is still too much, but even a 5K doesn't, their love for running or, just their running experience will help them relate to the book, but it will challenge them to go beyond their physical goals as well.
Okay.
But for the non-runners, I think it will help them understand the model of, when the Bible talks about striving for the goal is to get a prize, and
Uh-huh.
training yourself is to get a prize. The same, understanding how it is in real life when you really not just even going on a jog in the park when the prize doesn't matter, but when you're really training yourself and how that can, translate into your just spiritual life and any other goals in your life as well, weight loss, whatnot.
Okay. Okay. So your book has been out for about a year, a little over a year.
Yeah, a year and a half.
Okay.
Mhm.
What kind of feedback have you been getting from it?
Well, actually, it's really with social media nowadays, it's really great because you get to meet your readers,
Hmm.
not it's not in person, but you can build some relationship with Facebook. And I have a Facebook page for my book, which it's called Beginner Marathonist Faith Training. And if you type it in, you'll find it. And so I was able to connect with some of my readers in that way, and I got some encouraging feedback for that. One of the my most interesting experiences was I have a reader that lives in South Africa, and he trains for
Cool.
triathlons and marathons, and he runs. And so he was reading it while training for his first triathlon,
Okay.
and he well, actually, no, it was a half. I think it was an Ironman, and he was on a training swim right before his Ironman. And he said, and I'm not sure exactly where they were swimming in South Africa, but it was in the ocean. And he said that he got lost. He didn't go the right way, and when he turned, he saw that he was the only one, and there was
Hmm.
nobody around, nobody from the and he panicked, but he said all of a sudden, two dolphins came out of nowhere and pretty much guided him back to where he was supposed
Two
to be.
dolphins?
I know, it's unbelievable.
That's
And he was
crazy.
saying how he was reading through my book and how inspiring to his faith the book was.
Wow.
And then he has this experience, almost a surreal experience, and just confirming everything that God was doing in his heart as he was training physically and as he was focusing on his faith in God during while reading my devotional. So
Wow.
that was probably the most, interesting, unique experience that I've heard about from my readers. I've heard definitely feedback from people that said this was their first marathon and they read my book
Mm.
parallel to their training, and it was the toughest thing they've ever done in their life, and they would do it all over again because of the inspiration they got from my book. And I
Okay.
think one of the interesting experiences, because I wrote it and I live close to Pittsburgh, and so I trained for Pittsburgh Marathon as I was writing the book. And so I got some runners from Pittsburgh that were obviously interested in my
Wow.
book as well. And so I was at the Marathon Expo the day before the marathon, and the year after my book came out, and one of the ladies just, she would know my picture. I was just shopping, looking at stands with my family, with my kids, my husband, and she's just like, "You're Alla Hatfield." And then I was able to recognize her face as well from Facebook, because they have,
Okay.
profile picture. And I said, "Oh yes, I know you," because she was actively participating on my page,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
and responded to my post. So it was kind of interesting. You never know who you run into. And
Yeah.
so I think that as a writer, I think it's the most exciting experiences when you hear from your readers, when you run into them, when you hear unconventional stories like the dolphins in the middle of the
Yeah. Two
ocean fighting you.
dolphins guiding us
Um,
straight.
I think that's
Yeah.
the most exciting part, that your book is making a difference and it's encouraging somebody, inspiring somebody. This is
Yeah.
the most important
That's
thing,
awesome.
most rewarding thing for myself.
Okay. So I think we got a little bit of this, but what motivated you to write this book? I mean, writing is not it's not the first thing people think about. It's intimidating to publish a book, but you went all out and you're getting all this great feedback, but there must be a core motivation there. What motivated you?
Yeah, I think running is just as intimidating as running a marathon, really.
Yeah.
so, so I never thought I'd ever be an author, and I think it's just the inspiration that I get from running, and just because I'm there with my thoughts, being relaxed and just having the time to myself. And as I was writing the book, my kids, were still young. So
Okay.
it's, when I'm home, or if I'm at work, I'm busy. If I'm home, I'm busy with the kids. So running is really my time to get away from everything and really focus on, other things. And maybe it's just when you're running for a long time, you never know what comes to your head. And you just follow through then. And I
Yeah.
just, because it was my personal time of inspiration, I just felt like writing it down, and then it just came together. And as I was writing the book parallel to my personal training, I was training
Okay.
for Pittsburgh Marathon as I was writing the book.
Okay.
And so every day that I was on my treadmill or on the trail, I would, the thoughts that would come to me, I would try to write them
Wow.
down after I came
Wow.
from my runs, and just put them in a, deliverable form. And and then once I was done, I was pretty much writing my last week of the devotional as I
Wow.
was running, or shortly after I ran my marathon. So it was all came together as I was training, and then it was just the editing part.
Okay. Wow. So that's really cool. Now you mentioned your kids.
Hmm.
If you don't mind telling us, tell us a little bit about your family. I know you guys quite a bit, and I think people will be interested with where you're from and what you
Yeah,
do for a
sure.
living and things like that.
Well, my kids definitely keep me running every day, like whether it's from
Around
the
the
kitchen
house,
to the
huh?
dining table, or, but it's really, I have a son and a daughter. They're 9 and 6 years old. I actually came to the United States from Russia as an international student, and ended up staying here in the United States. My husband is a campus pastor
Yeah.
at the Pennsylvania State University, and we've been around, for 15 years that he's pastored here. And so we've been around college students and really ministering to young people for so long, that it's really, kind of in me to want to challenge others to
Mm.
go for God, or challenge them just to go for to meet their full potential of what God has given them. So that kind of
Okay.
where I
Well, I
am. Yeah.
applaud you for that. I applaud you guys for that great work you're doing.
Thank.
Was thinking about this. I ask every author who comes on Acrebooks this question. What exciting things are you working on now? Are you writing a new book you want us to know about? Are you know, what is going on in Alla Hatfield's world that your readers would like to know more about what is going on? So tell us what's going on.
Well, I'm afraid that if I say it, then I will have to do it. I have some exciting ideas, and if they just come out,
Yeah.
then. But I really would like to do another book, hopefully with my husband, together with my husband, and
Okay.
focus
A
on
family deal.
family and marriage, but also coming as a, with a running perspective to it, because I believe so many families and marriages lack a common goal or a sense of mission.
Mm,
And I think if even having a devotional that has a kind of a training perspective as well, that you kind of come together with your spouse on whether it's a running goal or some other goal that you are kind of working toward together that
yeah.
will bring you closer together and will strengthen your marriage.
Mm,
This is kind of an idea that I have been just talking to some close people to my husband obviously about, but this is
okay.
something that I would like to pursue. But I also started just recently a new job, so that's kind of been consuming me as well. I work at Penn State as an academic advisor and
Cool.
at the Sneal College of Business, which is one of the best schools in the business schools in the country. And so I'm
Yeah.
excited to be in contact with the future business leaders of the United States every day and
Yeah. Wow.
working with them closely, and I'm really enjoying working with the students. So it's just trying to balance everything else right now is a challenge sometimes.
Okay.
But it's all about the challenge.
Yeah, taking up challenges and
Yeah,
winning.
yeah.
Well, that book you just described, I think would be a great book. I can see
Well,
some
thank
of
you.
your readers Facebooking you and emailing you right now, asking you, write it, write it. When can I pre-order? So,
Good.
so well, I think that's all we have time for right now. Ala, thank you so
Sure.
much for spending time with us. Uh,
Thank you.
right before we head out, tell us real quick, where can we find your book, Beginner Marathoners Fate Training?
Right now, you can find it on Amazon. It's just an electronic book right
Okay.
now. Although it is also in another exciting project. I guess I need to get on that much again. I said it, I will do it now.
Yeah.
It will come out in a paperback version at some point,
Okay.
hopefully within this year. But right now, the easiest way to get it is through Amazon, and you just need to have a Kindle reader on your device, and
Yeah.
it's available there.
Okay. And for the convenience of our viewers, we will have links available to download this book. Again,
Okay?
this is Sel with Acrebooks. We had Alla Hatfield with us. Right below this video, there's going to be links to download her book, check out her work, follow her, what she's doing. Thank you again, Alla, for spending time with us. It was a great time.
Thank you, Sal.
All right, bye. See ya.
Bye bye. Bye, everyone.